everyone, welcome to Alyson Attempts. Today I am attempting to cook international cuisine with the help of Roaming Radish. So Roaming Radish is like a monthly subscription box that you can get. I was actually gifted this for Christmas, so I'm not totally sure what to expect, but I know each month they'll send you recipes and ingredients from a certain country. You know, they walk you through the instructions for the recipes, they help you make it. So as Roaming Radish says, let's roam. Let's see. So our country this month is Puente. No. Puente is an organization that they're donating to this month. So we have our recipe cards. And this is just telling me the order and some of our ingredients. So right away I see chilies. So let's see what we got. Okay, so our country this month is Oaxacan, maybe? Of course they give me one I don't know how to pronounce. Oaxaca is the capital city of the Mexican state of Oaxaca, a southern region of Mexico well known for its culinary history and significance. Then on the other side of the card, it looks like they're telling us what ingredients they sent us. So I see some chilies, some spices, unsweetened chocolate, that's interesting, and dried avocado leaves. So we have 4 recipes. We have enchiladas de mole negro, barbacoa de borrego, salsa molcajeteada, and tlayudas. I'm sure that's not how you pronounce any of those, and I apologize. So I know with Roaming Radish, they don't send you all of the ingredients. So they'll, like if you need, I know they don't send you protein. So like if one of these recipes requires chicken, they're not sending you the chicken. That's something you have to get yourself. But I know they do send you like the more obscure ingredients, which I think is really cool because then you don't have to go try to track it down at a store, spend a lot of money, get a large amount on something that you might only use once. So I think it's a really cool way they do it. Okay, so each recipe card, it says how many it serves, it says if it's a main dish or a side dish, how long it takes, how difficult it is. So it looks like they have a difficulty scale. They use radishes. I don't know how many, like what the top one is. These recipes have 1, 2, and 3 difficulty. I don't know if 3 is the top or if it keeps going after that. Okay, so on the recipe card, there's 2 different color print or font. So we have red, which looks like the stuff that they give us, and then we have black, which is the stuff that you have to get on your own. So just glancing at some of this, like some of the things you have to get on your own: vegetable oil, garlic, vegetable broth, tortillas. Then on the back of each card, it's giving you the instructions and then radish recommendations. So it seems like they kind of give you like extra tips if you want also. Let's see what we got. Okay, so right away I see 3 different types of chilies. This is going to be an interesting one for me because I am such a wimp when it comes to spice. And these chilies look intense. They're very dark in color. I don't know how this one's gonna go for me. I might not be able to eat this one. We'll see. It'll still be fun making it though. We have masa. That's cool. What's the masa for? It's for the one I really can't pronounce. Tlayudas. That's cool. And then here's all our spices. So we have barbacoa spice mix, our dried avocado leaves, Mexican oregano, ground cumin. Oh, here's our unsweetened chocolate. So I'm going to take a look at these recipes. I'm going to figure out what I have, what I don't have. I'm going to run to the store and I'll be back. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get started first with the salsa molcajete. No surprise here, I completely butchered the pronunciation the first time I said it. So this is our one side dish. This is a difficulty of 1 and it's only supposed to take 15 minutes. I'm doing it now first by itself because it's a salsa. It can be cold. I don't need to worry about trying to get it timed right with the finishing everything at the same time. So this one, we're first going to broil some vegetables, which I know is supposed to bring out the flavor, intensify the flavors. That right off the bat scares me because I don't need these flavors to be more intense. I'm also, all of these recipes feed 4 people. I'm going to half all of them because it's just me and one other person eating, and it's also a lot of food. Like I said, 3 of these are main dishes. That's already a lot of food. So I'm going to cut them in half. It's still going to be a lot, but more manageable. And after looking at these recipes, they do seem like things that I can have, which is nice. This recipe originally calls for a poblano pepper, but under the radish recommendations, it says, feel free to adjust the vegetables in the salsa, maybe try omitting the poblano and adding some corn. So I'm going to do that again because spice, it's a thing for me. So I'm going to do the other vegetables first, maybe then throw in some of this for a few minutes by itself. So the salsa molcajete, I looked up what molcajete meant, and it means mortar and pestle, but it's a mortar and pestle that's made from a volcanic rock. So it's not just any old mortar and pestle, which is interesting though because this recipe doesn't have you use a mortar and pestle. It has you use a food processor. So I thought that was interesting because I have a mortar and pestle, but it's made from wood. So I wonder if I had used that, would it ruin the wood because there's so much to it, or would it not have the right flavor? I don't know. I'm also spreading out my vegetables on the tray. No particular reason, just, I don't know, even distribution of the weight. It makes sense in my head. Okay, so just double check. Tomato, pepper, onion, garlic. Broil for 5 to 8 minutes or until the skin on the vegetables begins to brown in spots. It says this happens quickly, so check frequently. Once the vegetables begin to brown, remove from the oven and let them cool. So we're going to go ahead and throw it in. Tomatoes are rolling away. I'm going to open it first and then I'll put it in. Alright, timer. We're going to start with 5 minutes. See what happens. While the vegetables are boiling for our salsa, I'm starting on the next step, which for the barbacoa de borrego and the enchiladas de mole negro, they both say they start out with putting peppers in bowls and then putting boiling water over them. I'm assuming that's, again, to bring out the flavor. So I'm going to start with that because you have to let them sit for 20 minutes. So they both use the dried ancho chilies and the dried pasilla chilies. 2 of each. These. Oh, you guys, look at these. This is so scary looking. 1, 2. Oh, I wonder if the hot water is supposed to rehydrate them. You put the water on and then they puff back out. That would make sense. Okay, so it's 2 of each. These ones are long. They're all stuck. Okay, 1. This is black. Oh my gosh. I don't even want to do this part. Can I do these recipes without the chilies? Okay. 2. Okay, so that was, let me keep this straight. That was for the enchiladas, and then the barbacoa. Ooh, you know what? Enchiladas de mole negro. I think negro means black, right? So, yeah, it makes sense. Or maybe it's brown. Either way, it's a very dark color. That's gonna be too much for me. We're using different chilies for this one. We're using the guajillo chilies. These ones are red, but it's a very dark red. It does say those stems and seeds removed. So I think I need to de-stem and de-seed these before I put them, the water in them. I'm going to use 3. So 1. Ugh. Feels like, I don't know what it feels like. Kind of like a balloon. Like a, I don't know, like a dead balloon, I think. Anyway, there's 3. So this is pretty soon after I put the boiling water in. You can see how much it's steaming. See the water turning. Water turning a little bit on that one. I'm gonna recover and let them sit. I just brought the barbacoa spices off of the stovetop. You're supposed to lightly char them for a couple minutes, or I guess lightly cook them for a couple minutes until they're fragrant. I didn't see any noticeable difference while they were cooking, but looking at what's left in the pack now, I definitely see a color difference. These ones got a lot darker, just even from being a couple minutes on the stove. Yeah, the onion is also charred. Not evenly, but it's charred, so I guess that's good enough. Now we are making the marinade. Oh, no, we've already done that. We've started. Okay, we're in the process of making the marinade. So in a blender or food processor, combine the softened chilies and their reserved water. Also made a mental note to not touch my face since I started working with these chilies. And separating the onion a little bit. Okay, anyway. Blend until smooth. I'm going to change it to pulse, I guess, on high. The onion is not going. Actually, nothing's really going. All right. We got it. Like, should I chop these onions? I don't know. Maybe. Because, like, you're blending till smooth. This seems like something that's very difficult to get smooth. Like, honestly. I chose pulse because I thought that was more like a food processor, but we're just going to try a normal blender now. I'm a little scared to lean over this because I don't want it to splash up and get me, but I'm trying to mix it. Oh my gosh, my eyes. It didn't splash, it's just like the fragrance, the heat, I don't know, ow. Starting to feel like things are getting away from me a little bit, trying to hold it together, but I'm feeling a little more frantic right now. So I have set aside my barbacoa sauce because I'm not going to put it in the oven quite yet. I'm working now on the enchiladas again. So for the enchiladas, it said after you soak the chilies to de-stem and de-seed them, which I thought was kind of interesting that this recipe had me do this de-seeding after re-soaking and the barbacoa had me do it before the re-soaking. I don't know if that means anything or if that was just a discrepancy in recipes or if there's like a purpose. I don't know. Regardless, we got that done. Then I chopped some garlic. I had vegetable oil and you mix raisins in this, which I thought was interesting. I just used a box of raisins. So I have that. My garlic got a little overcooked. My vegetable oil got a little burnt. Didn't realize how fast that stuff takes off. Anyway. So I'm getting ready to do the actual cooking or baking of the barbacoa de borrego. So it says to put all the ingredients in a pot and put that in the oven to bake. I don't think any of my pots are oven proof, and I don't know for sure, so I don't want to risk it. So I'm improvising, like I've pretty much been doing the whole time. I'm using a cheesecake pan, and then I'm going to cover it with a pizza plate. So, to the tlayudas. I worked on that pronunciation. I'm sure it's still not perfect. I have my water. I feel very professional having pre-measured some of these ingredients. Okay. Our masa. I'm very excited to use masa. I've always wanted to make tamales, which I know is masa is used for that too. It's come together, like it's all moistened, I don't see any dry spots, and then let it sit for about 5 minutes to allow the masa to absorb all of the water. You can also see what a disaster the kitchen is behind me. I have tried to clean as I go, but this is still the result. So. Alright, so lots happening. Lots of fun new developments happening. So, first, I was hearing like a sizzle from the oven. So, I checked that out and my cheesecake pan was leaking. So then I put another pan under it to try to catch the drip so it wasn't burning in the oven. And then after a while that wasn't working. Like I was worried that all the juices were going to leak out of the barbacoa. So I switched pans. I put it in like a loaf pan. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. So now I'm cooking the tlayudas, cooking one at a time on the stove. It says to cook till it's cooked through and a little brown on each side. I don't know how to tell if it's cooked, so I'm kind of guessing. But it said like 2 to 3 minutes per side. Also cooking the mole sauce. Another thing I realized is when I was blending the mole sauce, I forgot to add masa and brown sugar. So I added that now. My timing is not going to work out. I have maybe 20 minutes left on the barbacoa de borrego, and I know the enchiladas are supposed to cook for at least 20 minutes, so yeah, that's how it's going for me. It says keep whisking the mole sauce, because if you leave it untouched for too long, it'll split. Honestly, I think that's the least of my worries right now. Kind of spread it out. It's very thick. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be that thick. I would assume so, because I followed the recipe, but you know, might not have worked. So this recipe, the enchiladas, says use 12 corn or flour tortillas. It's quite the size difference. I prefer flour, honestly, but I only have corn, and they're the taqueria style, so they're extra small, I think. So, but it's fine because we don't need many. So I'm just taking the tortilla, filling it with cheese. So this recipe called for Oaxaca cheese, however you say it, or mozzarella. The store didn't have the Oaxaca cheese, so I went with mozzarella. I'm thinking these are not going to stay rolled at all, and I'm correct. They are not going to stay rolled at all. It's also totally broke. Great. Okay. Oh my gosh. Like this tortilla is just crumbling, like it's breaking in half. Okay, new plan, because it's not gonna work at all. I'm gonna do like quesadilla style instead. And I'll just do, well, we're just gonna do 2. We're gonna call it good. Maybe 3. I don't know, I spaced it weird now for 3. But I have to get at least 1 without a broken tortilla, so. Ugh. These on top. Okay, these are our no longer enchiladas de mole negro. They are ready to go in the oven. Chopping some onion and garlic for our refried black beans. Should have prepped this earlier because now I'm feeling frantic. Okay, so I just pulled everything out of the oven, and I have my refried beans going. I still didn't do my salsa, and that's literally the thing that I started first because of like how easy it was supposed to be, and now I'm like, is there even a point to doing this? So we're doing it because we have all these vegetables prepped. Not enough because I was supposed to like cut them and de-seed them and all that stuff. So I'm doing a very quick job now because I want this done before everything gets cold. I'm trying to eat together. This blender is getting a workout today, I will tell you that. I mean, this tomato is pretty much like mush. Ugh. Alright, well, we're throwing some stuff in it. We're going to have some kind of salsa, which I need to cut cilantro and cheese and green onions, and I'm here. Everything's gonna be cold. Got it done. This is a mess. I'm a mess. The kitchen is a mess. But we're done. We're here. All 4 recipes done. There was a lot of issues with this. I think a big thing was that I was trying to get it all done at the same time and do it all at once. If you were doing like 1 at a time, like 1 meal for dinner, just 1 recipe for dinner, that's a totally different story. Everything is done. It did not all come out at the same time. Well, it's done. We're here. So we have our refried black beans, which are going to go with our tlayudas here. And then some of these toppings are also for those. I have queso fresco, green onions, cilantro. We have our salsa molcajete, which this is like the chunkiest salsa I've ever seen. There's like just half a tomato, half an onion, whatever. It's here. We have our enchiladas. What are they called? Enchiladas de mole negro, which are no longer enchiladas. They are quesadillas de mole negro. When I brought this out of the oven, I panicked for a second because I thought it had exploded and burned everywhere. And then I remembered, nope, that's how the mole sauce looks. And we have our barbacoa de borrego, which I'm pretty sure is way overcooked. The enchiladas were supposed to be an hour, and the tlayudas were supposed to be an hour. This was supposed to be an hour and a half. This was supposed to be 15 minutes, the salsa. Way longer on everything. I think that was a combination of me just trying to get it all done and do it all at once. Me filming. Me not being an experienced cook with like all the prep and everything. Anyway, we got it. One thing I did do on the black beans, the refried black beans, I was supposed to add a chili to it. I left that out because I wanted this to be something that I could actually eat. I also added too many onions. Some of those were supposed to be garnish. I didn't chop them enough. That is what it is. It's the theme of the day. But I did it. One thing that I think is really cool about what Roaming Radish does is even though there's like 3 main dishes and 1 side dish, they give you tips for how you could work it all together. So for instance, they say you can use like some of the barbacoa de borrego to put in your enchiladas. You can use the tlayudas for the enchiladas. You can use the salsa on everything. So there's ways to do it together, make it all at once, make it work together. Like I said before, I halved everything, which wasn't an issue, so I still have half of my box left over, which is cool because then I can go into the next round with a little more experience, hopefully improve in some areas. Alright, I'm ready to give this a shot. So this is the barbacoa de borrego. Smells good. I way overcooked the pork. Way, like it's super dry. The flavor is actually not bad. Like the spice I can handle. Maybe I'll get like a bite or something with like more pepper in it, but that bite I just had, I could handle that. It was just really dry, which is my fault. So I want to move on to our enchilada slash quesadilla de mole negro. This I topped with green onions. That's not bad either, spice-wise. Like, yeah, I'm shocked right now, you guys, that the spices made these flavors and aren't killing me, like, at all. In fact, if you are somebody who likes spice, I don't, like, you would want more. Like, you would probably think there isn't any spice in this. That's really surprising to me. Like, really. Okay, lastly, I'm going on to our tlayudas, which I topped with the refried black beans, and I also put some of our salsa on here. I don't really know how you're supposed to eat this, so I'm just going to tear. And then this, topped with the queso fresco and cilantro. They also said if you don't have the queso fresco, you can use like feta cheese if you want. That's good. It's, I don't want to say it's bland, but it's pretty bland, which maybe is why they suggested putting a chili in there. That's good though. This is all good. Like, I am surprised right now at the taste and the flavors for all of this. I could eat everything here, and I'm not kidding you when I say I'm the biggest wimp. I have milk ready, but this is really good. I think I attempted and succeeded making Oaxacan food. What are you going to attempt?